G'day folks. Thought I'd do a very short update of sorts, but more importantly I would like to thank the anonymous person who sent me a brand spanking new hat. I went down to the post office box this morning and I found this in the post office box. Unfortunately they'd scrunched the bag up and shoved it in, but I think the shape will come back to it. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, whoever it was. The old straw hat that I had had definitely seen better days, a massive hole in the top of it, and I'm actually going to compost it, throw it in the compost heap. It's got a bit of a wire support around the outside, but I can rip that out. So once again, thank you very much. I wanted to also do a bit of an update on what I said I was going to do on the weekend. Stephen asked me how much I got through. Go Stephen. I'm chatting to him on Facebook, so I said I wasn't going to do a clip, but I might as well now. Just give you a bit of a look at what I've actually accomplished over yesterday and today. I was going to try and knock off some wicking barrels as well, but unfortunately time just got away from me. On Saturday we had two groups of lovely people come through, Vanessa and her family, and Tom and Paula and Tom's cousins. G'day guys, it was great to meet you all and chat about the garden and aquaponics, absolutely fantastic. Also had a delivery of some horse manure. Vanessa came to pick up some horse manure and we've got 30 bags left, so that's going into a new compost cage. But as for the actual jobbies I got through, we're sitting under one right now. I'll give you a bit of a look. So this is the jobbie I got to knock off on Sunday and Monday. Today's student free day for the girls, so I got to knock this off. Basically an extension to the hoop house. This entranceway was here before, but I actually pinched that pipe to do the extension on this hoop house here. It's the end run up there, so I needed some more. I was quoted over $8 a metre at the local store for the 50mm or 2-inch rural pipe. Luckily, I remembered a mate was going to buy some and he bought in bulk, so I was able to pick up some off him at a discounted rate. Thank you very much, Dale. So I got to put this archway in here and another one just over the back here. It's just that long arch that goes from the chicken coop all the way over to the fish farm area, and it's just supported at the moment just in the center there by a tent pole. More permanent pole will be going in the future, but yeah, just for now just a tent pole. I'm using a 30% shade cloth so I don't get rid of too much of the sunlight. I mean, we still want to grow nice veg in here. Over on this side we have a 90% shade cloth, and as you can see it's the afternoon sun's going to come through there, so it'll take the majority of the sting of the sun out for the fish tanks, the aquaponic ones and the aquaculture ones, so the water hopefully won't get too hot for the fish. And yeah, just have a look at the fish. I think it's feeding time. Yeah, I did a bit of an extension basically all the way from that post to that post over there, so I'm mighty chuffed. I did a bit of a bracket just with some leftover pipe just up there just to try and keep the shade cloth off my head as I'm walking through. One of the things I did here was, because I didn't want to drive another post in the ground here for a third piece of pipe, I've actually bolted on one of these top bars that goes over the top of an IBC. So I don't throw a lot out that's useful, and I've got a fair few of these saved up. And all I've done is, they're normally bent over on the end here, where they're then bolted over the top of the cage. I've straightened that out like that one there, and because they're threaded, that little hole there is threaded, I've basically screwed the screw in from the other side of the star picket onto there, and then I've slid the post on, the pipe onto there. These other bits of hose, or pipe, sorry, I've got wire going through there, through one of the holes in the star pickets and around, and the same on this one over here. There's a hole through there and then a hole through one of the star pickets there. That keeps them nice in place. If you are only going to do one though, you can actually bolt them on. Just get a nice high tensile bolt, whack that in there with some nice big washers, and that'll do the same job. But because I'm doing multiple hoses or pipes, keep calling them hoses, pipes, I'm just using some nice heavy gauge wire. So they're nice and sturdy, they're not going to go anywhere. This one's on there nice and tight, fair bit of weight on that one. Down the other end it's actually on a star picket itself that actually needs to be wired on. With the top here, I've had people say that we're going to lose this in high winds. We get some pretty full-on tropical storms down here. We've had some, not tropical storms, I suppose you'd call them subtropical storms, thunderstorms. We've had storms where people have lost parts of their roof in the neighbourhood, just a couple of streets up, and the shade cloth here basically just lifts up a little bit, mainly because there are so many holes in it. I mean, the wind passes straight through it. This one over here though, being a 90%, it does get a bit of lift, so I'm going to have to come down and zip tie these on a little bit better, and that's why also I'm making sure these guys are wired on nice and tight so we don't, you know, end up with our shade cloth through the back window of the house. One other job I did get to on the weekend, one of the reasons I didn't finish off the wicking barrels is I've been running the biofilter as a trickle filter again. I'm just taking out some small fine suspended solids in the fish tank. As you can see, it's pretty clean. There's the silver perch. Putting on a little bit of size, nowhere near as big as yours, Stephen, but they're pretty happy in there. Yeah, so that's pretty much all what I got up to on the weekend, and today. Give you a bit of a look from this end down here. I've also come along down the bottom here and I've put in one of these sections of top hat. It's pop riveted on there and it's screwed on there, and it will be wired. It just gives this a little bit more structural integrity, and it keeps the shade cloth over the top there off my head. This star picket here, this was actually part of the old hoop house. The hoop came to there. But when I went to pull this out, I noticed that I had some sweet potatoes down the bottom there. So I didn't pull it out because I didn't want to destroy the sweet potatoes. Now that it's been left in there, I'm thinking that it may actually come in handy, because now I have a nice walkway up the back here. Nowhere for leaves to fall directly on it. I could run a length of NFT tube down here and have some little grips in there, grow grips in there, just in the NFT tube. So that's something I'm looking at doing. It means I need to make up some sort of a post to sit the NFT on this side, and then that can just run back in and straight into the sump there. So that's one idea I've got. Not a lot happening in here. The tomato, I think I pretty much will cut it back a little bit too hard and she's dying off. Lavender's still growing. Pepinos, gave away a whole heap of pepinos on the weekend. Hope you enjoyed them, folks. Did notice down in here though that we have sweet potato sprouting. So that'll be interesting. I think that's pretty much all it. Other than the Dutch buckets, started mucking around with them. Was resting the camera on that one just before. Going to set them up there. The water, not exactly there, out a little bit. The water will come straight from a fitting on there down into the Dutch buckets, and then just a line into the sump tank. I want to make it so everything is accessible. So I need a body length, well, a width. My width anyway, between here, so it needs to come out to around about there, just so I can get in there and fiddle with any pipe work that need be. So I'm pretty chuffed with the way it's all turning out. We'll keep the leaves out of the system and keep a bit of sun off. Yeah, so maybe I should feed these guys, give you a bit of a look, eh? Very active feeders, these guys. As you can see, the water's nice and clear in there now that that trickle filter's on. Anyway, you didn't see it beforehand, so you wouldn't really know, really, would you? Ages ago, Jay asked me from Self-Sufficient Life channel about harvest clips. I don't really do harvest clips, but I post mainly just to Instagram now, and they post over to Facebook, so if you want to check out our harvest, have a look over there. But this is pretty much, well, a sort of harvest we have maybe 2-3 times a week, where we get to have a whole side dish or to our meat if we're having meat that night, all from our back garden. Basically tonight we're going to have half an eggplant fried in garlic each, a salad made out of broccoli, half the cabbage there, sugarloaf, some julienne golden beetroot through there, and of course the yellow currant tomatoes we get all the time, and a couple of beans. We had some beans that overwintered. For whatever reason, they grew from autumn all the way through now to spring, so we're harvesting a few of them every now and then. And I noticed down the back behind the chicken coop we're getting a whole heap of the Cape gooseberries or ground cherries. They're starting to fall off the plant, so for a plant we didn't plant, we're getting a pretty good harvest. Gotta love the volunteers. So there's a bit of a look, Jay. Someone else commented the other day as to what sort of percentage we actually harvest food-wise from the garden. And to be totally honest, we probably eat 2 to 3 meals like this from the patch a week. During the day though, the girls are down here picking lettuce and greens, always throwing these on the sandwiches for lunch now. I've gotten them out of wanting the large tomatoes. It's just one of those habits you've got to break. I mean, we've got, just here, we've got some lettuce coming on there. We've got some lettuce, it's just starting to flower in there. We've got some other greens up there. We've got perpetual spinach we can eat. We've got mangold, we've got beet greens, warrigal spinach if you get desperate. I mean, you know, even comfrey you can eat as long as there's only one leaf and not too much. So yeah, we do eat a little bit from the garden, but there's no way we support our entire diet from the garden. Hey, Bianca's feet. Exactly. So there you go, folks. There's a little bit of a look at what I got up to on the weekend, a bit of a vlog. Also too, a very big thank you once more to whoever donated me the hat. That's absolutely awesome, very stoked about it. Bianca was going to get me a leather one, but I'm much more happy with this, I can tell you. Also a little bit of a look at the harvest and a bit of an explanation about what we take out of the patch. Oh, I forgot to mention the eggs. We were getting 4 eggs a day, now we're getting 3 eggs a day, now we're down to chook. So yeah, we're getting protein as well as the veggies and the little bits of fruit with the berries and that. So there you go. If you do have any comments, questions or suggestions, pop them in the comments section below and I shall get back to you. Other than that, thanks again, and I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic week and you all take it easy. Cheers, folks.